All right. Okay, I'd like to introduce the folks that you'll be speaking with tonight. And our plan is just to, again, go through the procedures and remind you what's next in the application process, make sure everybody knows where they are in that process and what's coming next. And then I just want to spend some time just talking about what makes NewTek unique, why people are choosing it, what questions and concerns you have. To be perfectly honest with you, this is only the second time I've done this event. Last year was my very first time. It was my first year in the district, and the very first time we did this event. It was live in person back in the days when we could actually interact with people. And we all went to the choir room at ZB, and it was just a mixture of people. There were a few people that hadn't even applied to NewTek yet. There were a few people who had already decided that they're coming to NewTek, and there were a bunch of people who were interested but weren't really sure. And so we did some activities that are kind of hard to do via Zoom. But then we just got into a discussion about why people chose NewTek, and some parents who had already chosen NewTek or had kids go through NewTek before commented on what they liked about it and why they chose. And then some of the parents who hadn't yet made up their mind could ask questions, and then other parents answered them. I mean, of course, I answered as much as I could. That was like my fifth month on the job, so I didn't know very much. But other staff chipped in and answered all the questions. But it was just really good to give parents a chance to hear from other parents about why they made the choice. So I'm kind of hoping that happens here. Hopefully you won't get too shy. So I do want to introduce the staff. Again, I'm Chris Kubik. I'm the principal at NewTek. Next to me on my screen anyway is Bonnie Felsky, our assistant principal. Hi, Ms. Felsky. And then we have Sherry Carter, principal secretary, and she's the one that runs the application process. So if you have any questions, she would be the one to ask specific to your situation. We have Ellie Panchi translating for us if needed. We have business teacher extraordinaire Warren Regnier. Social worker extraordinaire Robin Ando. 2016 graduate Yessi Zamora. And we do have a parent guest with us, Joy Ba, parent of an alum and a current student. So thanks so much for being here, Joy. And I think we're expecting another student alum speaker at some point. So I'll introduce that person when that time comes. So for right now, use the chat box to ask any questions. I have a couple in there. The questions will come just to me, and then we can answer those, and then I'll open the floor for some discussion. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat box. If you're fairly new to Zoom, if you go down to the middle bottom of your screen, there should be a little cartoon bubble icon. Click that, and that'll open up your chat box. I'm going to put in the chat box a website that we have referenced in our recruitment and orientation meetings. One of our recruitment team members and our math teacher, Ms. Biddle, made this site. It's really cool, and I want to point out a few things on it. So hopefully you can see my screen with the NewTek High at Zion Benton East and a picture of the school, right? Yeah, okay, good. So this is a site. You have the URL in the chat box, and again, this will be a review for those of you who attended the recruitment night, but I wanted to make sure that you were aware of this resource because at the recruitment nights, we didn't really get through everything that we could have, so you can explore on your own. So you have tabs with About Us. You can learn more about project-based learning. At this activities link, you can explore a thing link and learn about the clubs that we have at NewTek. We also have district-wide clubs that meet at the ZB campus, and NewTek students can go over there and join those. And remember, NewTek students can join sports. We have a lot of athletes and some coaches at NewTek as well. So we just have them get on the bus and go over to the ZB campus for sports. So NewTek students can join sports and clubs and activity. You all should have applied. If you did not, then we'll talk with Ms. Carter later on, but you have the application information here. The testimonials might be interesting if you're still making up your mind. You've seen, if you came to our orientation nights, you've seen some of these, but there are some other ones. I don't know about that guy in the middle of the top row, but you can listen to him if you want to. But there's some staff members and some other folks that you might want to hear from. The virtual tour, that's another thing that we did at the orientation and recruitment nights. And we hit the yellow buttons, but you can take a virtual tour of the rest of the school and meet some other folks via video messages and just learn about different aspects on your own. And the events, this is actually the last event in the recruitment sequence, so you don't have to worry about that tab, but feel free to contact us or check out the FAQ tab. So really great resource. Thanks to Ms. Biddle for putting that together. All right. So I want to give kind of an overview of where we are in the process. And actually, I want to throw that over to Ms. Carter, and then that'll answer some of the questions that have come up in the chat box. So Ms. Carter, can you let us know where we are in the application process? What happens next with the lottery and the waiting list, and when people will know and all of that?
Okay, so we're looking at the lottery happening Friday. Looking at following up with a letter, acceptance letter, or wait list, or a conditional acceptance letter. Things that would make it conditional would be like you didn't take care of coming to one of our meetings, you didn't take care of doing proof of residency, you still need to work with me on some of the scores, maybe some are Hive. That would be kind of spelled out in the letters coming to you, and it would be a yes, you're accepted, no, we need you to finish some things, or see, you're on the wait list. Those letters should be going out next week. If you don't get something in the US mail by March 1st, definitely reach out, give me a call, give me a holler. That probably means it got lost in the post. I don't want you to be hanging on the edge of your seat. I don't want you to miss any deadlines, because if you do get accepted and you do have a change of heart and you say, no, I really wanted to go to band, I really wanted to do choir, ZB is going to be where I want to ultimately wind up. I need to know that by March 5th. After we kind of get things settled, who's coming to New Tech, who's coming to ZB, the district will start the district-wide registration process. You'll be on the lookout for a packet coming from the district through the US mail. And that'll get information about how we'll do the online registration over the summer, how we'll do the in-person part of that over the summer. And that'll be where we'll do things like residency, the full check versus the quick little check you and I have been doing with a gas bill or an electric bill. That'll be things where you get your school physical lined up and get that turned into us. And that is a district-wide process. Anything I missed, Mr. Kubik? You're on mute.
I'm looking through the questions, and I think you got all of it. If they're not accepted at New Tech, do they need to send different enrollment information to ZBTHS?
No, because that's where the district registration process will come in. It is a district-wide. You'll register the same way, whether it's for New Tech or for ZB.
Okay, so that's the overall, that's kind of the process. So if you have specific questions, you can drop them in the chat box. Actually, let me recommend that you contact Ms. Carter directly. And if you look in the chat box, you can see the two, and it might say just the host or me, but you should be able to select Sherry Carter, and that way you can let her know any specific questions about your particular case. So Vanessa, I'm redirecting yours to Ms. Carter. Okay. All right, I want to clarify a couple things, and staff, jump in if there's something else that you feel like we need to clarify. I did just a little bit ago, I clarified one of the misconceptions. New Tech students can participate in clubs and activities and sports. So that is a big yes. I do want to make sure that you understand that New Tech students, unfortunately, cannot participate in band or choir because those are classes, and we can't transport them during the school day for those. So if you're interested in band or choir, it'll be a big decision for you, unfortunately. It's something we're working on, but we're not going to have that worked out by the time your student starts in a few months. So band and choir are only offered at the New Tech campus. Same with art classes, things like industrial tech, wood shop, those kind of things. but New Tech students can participate in Tech Campus, which is our cooperative program with the College of Lake County. That they have all kinds of programs. They have digital or video game design and digital programs. They have firefighting and cosmetology, auto mechanic stuff, really, really cool stuff. But New Tech students can do that. The other thing that you cannot have at New Tech is AP classes. So band, choir, art, industrial tech, and woodshop, things like that, and advanced placement courses are only at the ZB campus, not at New Tech. We have a very robust dual credit program. And in my opinion, that's a better deal than AP, but you just have to think about your goals. And if AP is part of them, then again, that will be a decision and we can talk about that. Like we've said in all of our orientation and recruitment meetings, we're not trying to convince you to come to New Tech. It's about fit. We have a small environment. It can be a little bit more intimate. People can know each other, work together better, and that works for some. It doesn't work for others. And much as we want you here, we need you most importantly to be at the school that allows you to accomplish your goals. Staff, is there anything else that we need to emphasize or clarify from earlier in our recruitment season? Okay, if you think of something, jump in. You know what, one other thing that came up at a late recruitment meeting that I want to make sure you know, we do have a smaller overall population. We have 375 or so students, but our class sizes are fairly typical. So I don't want folks to come to New Tech thinking that the class sizes are going to be a lot smaller than ZB. They're pretty typical class sizes, but our overall small population allows for that intimacy and the knowledge of each other, collaboration that I mentioned before. Okay. The other thing that I want to remind you about is if you have applied to New Tech, and you'll find the admission decision shortly, like Ms. Carter said, we're assuming that you're coming here. If you change your mind, that's fine. Again, go to the school that fits you. We need to know by March 5th. You need to contact our office. Contact me or Ms. Carter. Email us, call us, whatever. So we're assuming that if you've applied and you've been accepted, that you will come to New Tech. If that's not the case, please let us know by March 5th. We have to figure out all of our classroom space and how many teachers and that kind of stuff. So please just let us know by March 5th.
The most efficient way, Mr. Kubik, of doing that is just sending me a quick email. You know, just saying, you know, we've chosen ZB, thank you, remove our name.
Breaking up is hard to do, but we'll let you go. We understand. Question came up in the chat box. Art Club is available at New Tech, but art classes are not offered at New Tech. So Art Club is one of our activities, but art classes are not. Another question that came up, should the student choose their courses for the regular campus while they're waiting to hear if they made it into New Tech? No, you'll find out in plenty of time so that you can plan. So we'll let you know soon. All right, I'm answering a couple other questions in the chat box. Keep those questions coming. And in just a minute, I'm going to turn the floor over to Yessie and Ms. Ba, our parent and alum speakers, just to talk about why they chose New Tech. And you can ask them any questions. And then, like I said at the very beginning, last year, it was just kind of an organic discussion where parents who had already decided commented on why they did, and parents who hadn't decided yet asked some questions, and what about this, what about that? And it was just a really great discussion. So I plan on unmuting folks, and then you can have that kind of discussion. So, all right. Ms. Joy Ba is the parent of a current student, Mariama, and the parent of an alum, Imani. And I don't remember when Imani graduated. It might have been, let's say, 3 years ago. Ms. Felsky, you think? Ms. Carter? 3, 4?
Yeah, it was a few more than that. Yeah,
more? Okay.
probably about, I would say, yeah, about 3, 4.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ba, are you ready?
Sorry about that. that.
That's okay. I think you're cutting out, or is it just my computer? Okay, try again.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I got you now.
Okay. And I turned my video on.
Yep,
Can-
we
can
see
you-
you.
Okay. So the question is, why New Tech? Is that the question?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it was kind of, I don't want to disparage the main campus, but it was not really competition, so to speak, because I looked at just the competencies that New Tech values, the project-based learning, the collaboration, they give them technical skills, and every class has the same principles. And you'll find that when you're going over the online portal where you can follow your students' grades, same competencies that they are tracking New Tech are also tracked in the workplace. I worked in nonprofit for 20 years, and those same competencies were on my employee evaluations. And so while I'm evaluating my employees on their timeliness and their ability to collaborate with others and their ability to communicate, my children were receiving those same skills that are valuable in the work. And so it was a perfect fit to me because it was giving them actual skills that they are really going to need. And it's so funny because I've talked to my my oldest, currently a senior at Northwestern University. Thank you, New Tech, all of the teachers. She's gonna graduate this year. And her degree will be in neuroscience, so that's in neuroscience. And so I talk to her periodically and some classmates that she graduated with, and they always talk about the projects because the projects prepare them to operate at the college level. And you've got the same cast of characters on every project. You've got somebody who's kind of just coasting along, somebody do the brunt of the work, or somebody who doesn't communicate well, somebody who over communicates. And so they're all learning how to navigate personalities and navigate groups and collaborate with others who are different from them at an early age. So once they get to college, they are professionals at it. They are leaders on the college campus. All of my daughter's classmates were leaders in their projects and their group projects at college. And just in the workplace, it's an actual skill that is so vital. I cannot tell you how vital it is to be able to communicate tactfully and effectively with people, and also to inspire people. My current student, Mariama, she had an essay on leadership, and I was so dismayed because her concept of leadership was, oh, a leader has to do all the work. And I said, oh no, that is not the message. Is not the message at all. And so after we discussed and I, tried to show her some examples from her own experience where it was a group effort and the leader's role is really inspiration of everybody else to do their part. And she understood what I was saying, but that is something that is so vital in the workplace. And that is something that I appreciate most about New Tech, because it mirrors all of the skills that they will need in real life to be better human beings, to be better workers, to be better leaders. And so that was the main reason I chose New Tech. And also there were two other things. The customization, they don't have like a one size fits all approach to education. They work with each student to customize their programs to fit them. Before we came, we had students with the reason, and another reason we came was students who were collaborating with college classes. We had other students who were taking classes that weren't offered at New Tech, but they were offered on another campus, and they just made it work for everyone. And I really appreciate that aspect of New Tech. And also they pay attention to, and they're adaptable. It's just, they're really, really a great school. And I'm proud of all of the work that they've done to build a family love around my students, because I'm blessed to have the one student who's at Northwestern about to graduate. And then I have another student who's currently going to college next year, and she's already been accepted to 4 Illinois schools. She's still waiting for word from other schools, but just that they prepare the students for the next step, and they have them goal setting, and they're really inspiring the students to do their best, and they provide an atmosphere of fellow learners. I think that's another difference that I can see from New Tech and the main campus, is that, of course, you know, education is education, but the main campus has the more traditional method, and the New Tech method actually, I would say they, the New Tech atmosphere, they prepare the students to apply, and they inspire them, but they also have people who are ready to learn, and they don't have to convince the kids to learn. The kids are not learning against their will. They're all there because they're excited about learning and going on to the next step. And like that atmosphere about New Tech as well, is that everybody is on board to put their best foot forward. So I think that is it for me. I know I've been talking a long time. Sorry about that.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you. For those who just joined us, we were listening to Ms. Joy Ba. She is a parent of an alum and a current student, and we asked her to join us just to speak from a parent perspective about why she chose New Tech and why she's glad she did. All of you had that choice to make, and we thought it would be helpful to hear from a parent. We would like to have you hear from an alum in just a moment. But first, we have a lot of people who joined us, so I want to catch you up. First and foremost, I'll ask Ms. Panchi to make an announcement again about translation.
Hola, solamente para avisarles que si necesitan traducción, yo sé que ya hay algunos papás que sí lo han pedido. Si necesitan traducción, por favor, déjenme saber, ya sea a mí o al director, al señor Hubeck, y ahorita nos vamos a otra sala.
Okay, thank you. I will get the translation room started in just a minute. So, Ms. Carter, can you just give a really quick update for those who joined us, where we are in the application process, and when people will hear what they need to do. And then we'll go to Yessie, one of our alum speakers. If we have other student speakers, please message me so I know. Otherwise, it'll be awkward if I call on somebody and they're not here to talk. All right, Ms. Carter.
I just put in the chat box for you a link to sign in. That's part of our application process, is that you come and get familiar with what we're about, what project-based learning is, what New Tech is. That's one of the things that I check off on your applications, that you've actually attended and are aware of what we're about. So please, please, please make sure to sign in with your student's name and your names so that I know who's here. As I go through and process the applications, I'll be checking on the completeness of your application, you know, whether everything is filled out, whether you guys all signed them. I'll be looking at things like the proof of residency, something that's just a quick check like a gas or an electric bill. We'll make sure that you came to one of our meetings. Make sure that the scores from the tests are in, or the teacher recommendations are there. We'll look and see if we need to have you do some summer hive work to shore up the skills in reading or math. That's all stuff that I'm working on this week, and Friday we'll do our lottery. And then next week, I'm going to get together the acceptance or wait list conditional letters. Acceptance, things are awesome, looks great. All the requirements are met. We'll ask you to enroll and do the registration over the summer. Conditional means you might need to show up things like reading or math in one of those summer hive programs. Means you might need to shoot me a quick proof of residency. You guys won't have to, but other folks might have to catch up and do a meeting with Mr. Cubic so that we're aware of what New Tech's about. Once we get all of those things done, I'm going to get those letters out to you next week. We're going to send those out via US Post. So if they don't get there one way or the other by March 1st, please give me a holler. That means it got lost in the mail, and I don't want you to sit in pins and needles any longer than you have to. So when those are coming out, if you have a change of heart and you say, oh my gosh, you know, I really wanted to do band, I really wanted to do choir, New Tech doesn't have that, I want to go to ZB, I need you to shoot me a quick email, carterc@ntzb.org, saying, you know, no, thank you, I'd like to give up my seat, we're going to head over to ZB for band. That has to happen by the 5th of March. So I'm saying if you didn't get your acceptance or waitlist letter by the beginning of March, please give me a holler. After we get through that and you say, yes, I'm going to New Tech, or, oh, I'd rather go to ZB, then we're going to start the district registration process. And that's a process that we share between the ZB campus and New Tech. It's going to look the same, pretty much whatever campus you ultimately choose. There should be something coming out from the district in the next couple of months, and then we really start in earnest with getting you to do the online registration piece in the summer. Then we follow that up with a couple of weeks of coming in person, dropping off the full residency check, the school physicals, all kinds of good stuff like that that we'll take care of.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Carter. All right, I'm going to open up a breakout room for translation, and Ms. Carter will be in there to answer questions. Mr. Regnier, I'd like to put you in there as well for any New Tech information. Ms. Ba, if it's okay, I'd like to put you in there because I think those folks didn't catch the beginning of your conversation about why you chose New Tech. So if it's okay, I'll put you in there with Ms. Panchi. So I'm going to open
Entonces
that room.
ya vamos a abrir la otra sala para traducción. Si alguien más necesita traducción, por favor, déjenos saber. Gracias.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience, everybody. So if you missed the very beginning of this, the idea is to give you help you to understand where we are in the application process and what's next. And Ms. Carter just gave an overview for everybody. If you have specific questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and we'll get them answered. We also wanted you to hear from a parent, and Ms. Ba just spoke. She's in the translation room now. And we're about to hear from Yessie, who is a 2016 alum. And then we'll open the floor to any other questions. Like I said at the very beginning, last year it was really cool. People who have not yet made up their mind about ZB or New Tech were able to ask, well, what about this? I'm thinking about this. And other parents who have been through the process answered. And it was a great discussion. So Yessie, I will turn it over to you. Thanks so much for being here. Tell us what life is like after New Tech. What are you doing? And how did New Tech help you?
So for sure, it does not feel like I graduated 5 years ago. Like I just feel really old at this point. And then, so my degree, I have been going to CLC for like obstacles that we have to, attend to and stuff. So unfortunately, I think it was a year or a little bit after I graduated, my mom was diagnosed with ALS. So for those of you that don't know what ALS is, it's a terminal illness. So like there's no cure, there's no nothing. So I stopped going to school I think a year and a half ago, and I've tried going to school. I went last semester, it went pretty good, but it's just been a lot for me to take in. So when I found out that my mom had an ALS, it was hard for me because I was taking 5 classes at CLC, and it was just something that I was still trying to process and still trying to, get through my head that okay, my mom is going through this, but it's been I just want my degree at this point, and I have to move on forward with my life, and it's something that life throws at us, and it's something that we can't control ourselves. So as of right now, like my dad had to stop. Well, she had to stop working at first because it deals with your like walking, your talking, eating. You know, it interferes with like your daily life. Like right now, my mom, she doesn't talk anymore. If she talks, it's very minimal, and it's kind of hard for her to, it's kind of hard for us to understand what she's saying. She's constantly on like a bypass machine. She In August or September of 2020, she had to get a feeding tube inserted into her stomach so we can give her food because doctors told us that like she wasn't able to swallow anymore. And then I want to say like around October, um, her oxygen levels were really down. So nurses came in. She's on the hospice program. Nurses came in and they told us that there was a possibility that my mom was going to die that day because she didn't have enough oxygen in her lungs anymore. So it's been pretty tough after I finished high school. After I find out that my mom had that, my anxiety and depression just automatically kicked in. I would wake up at like 3 in the morning, have an anxiety attack. I would not have energy for school. So I missed a lot of school, and that resulted me in failing 4 out of the 5 classes that I took. And so right now I have 80% of my degree completed, and I only need my science and my math classes, and I will then have my associates in social work. Um, but as of right now, I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. Don't know when it's gonna, you know, occur to me like, hey, like it's time for you to go back to school, and it's time for you to, finish. I want to see her see me in a career that I really want to go into. So for social work, I do plan on going to DCFS, and I took a intro to social work class the fall. It was an 8-week class. It was a pretty, I've heard, well, my social work teacher told me that it's a lot to handle in DCFS. It's a lot, you see cases and stuff that you don't want to see, And she's like, I understand you love kids. She's like, I understand, you want to give them better life. She's like, but sometimes like going into that career path, she's like, it's hard. She's like, because you cannot break down in front of them. You cannot, do certain actions in front of the children or the parent. She's like, you have to wait till like you're alone to be able to, process everything that you just saw. And that just motivated me even more to really go into that field. And I learned a lot from that class. It was very helpful. She gave us different cases for homework each week. And since I was interested in DCFS, she gave me a lot of DCFS cases. And reading them and doing my homework and writing the reports on it, it was hard. Like, even though I didn't physically see anything that I read, it was hard just reading it. And it's like, wow, like how can anybody really do this? Like, how do you have the heart to hurt a human being? But yeah, so that has been my life after high school. I was working at McDonald's my junior year through my senior year. A little after my senior years, I was there for like 3.5 years. And then I ended up getting a job at a shoe store, and I started there at part-time. And within a year being there at the shoe store, I got promoted to a full-time manager. So I'm currently a full-time manager at a shoe store. I'm currently training to become assistant. So it's been pretty good so far. It's a good job. I love it. My managers are amazing. My employees are amazing. It's a good environment. We get along pretty good. And I've always said to myself, I have a passion for shoes. I love sneakers. I love, you know, the different colors, the different styles, the different brands. So I've always said to myself, if me going into social work doesn't really work out, I do want to move up more in the company. The CEO of the company and then the vice president stuff actually do come out to my store and they have talks with us. They know I'm only 23. They know I'm still going to school, but they have told me that there's a lot of opportunities I can actually go through with the company. Like I can be a visual merchandiser and travel just to our other stores in the state or just travel to Chicago and Milwaukee and put the store together for them, like put the visual representations out. And it's something that I'm really good at. I think that's definitely something that I learned from New Tech is how to organize myself, how to really present myself in front of like people. Um, when I chose New Tech, it was a little bit hard because I had friends telling me, no, don't go there. Like it's a smaller school. Like there's really nothing there for you. There's, you know, like they wanted me to fit in with them at the main campus. And it was very hard. I remember it was a snowy day and I got a letter saying I needed to retake my math test and my English test, I believe, to be able to get in. And we were on our way to ZV so I can go take it. And we were by the entrance and I told my dad, like, let's go home. And he's like, what do you mean, let's go home? And I'm like, I don't want to go to New Tech anymore. And he's like, why not? He's like, you cannot let your friends influence you and you cannot let your friends pick what school you want to go to. He's like, I can turn around. He was like, but this is the last day you have to really take your test and get into the school. So I was just like, you know what? I'm like, all right, fine. I'm like, I'll take the test. I'm like, and if I don't get in after taking my test, I'm like, oh, well, I was like, it wasn't meant to be. Like a week later, I got a letter saying that I got accepted. And my dad was like, it's up to you. You still have to, you know, sign your papers, going over, you have to go over everything. It's up to you. He's like, but you only have a couple of days to decide. And I was in 8th grade when I was deciding, and I had classes with my best friend all 8th grade year. So all 8th grade year, she was like, you're really leaving me. Like, you know, I'm not going to see you anymore. And I'm like, you are going to see me. It's just we're going to be going to 2 different schools. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's really the difference. I don't regret attending New Tech at all. It did help me with my fear of presenting in front of everybody, you know, doing public speaking. I took a college speech class, a communication class that I needed for my degree. And everybody that was in my class was like so nervous to present the speech and read the speeches in front of the class. And my teacher, every time I presented mine, she's like, you are really good at public speaking. She's like, how do you do it? She's like, because even me, she's like, even if I'm a teacher, she's like, it takes me time to really prepare for a presentation or go to you know, talk to a public. And I just told her, I'm like, well, I went to a school. It was a project-based school. We did a lot of projects, a lot of presentations. So I picked New Tech because I knew that's what was going to be best for me. I met the best of friends there. I still talk to them, you know, even though it's been so long since we graduated. And I feel like New Tech really does prepare the students for, like Ms. Boss said, it does prepare students for the future after high school. You know, you become more organized, you become more of like a people person. You know how to be a leader, you know what a leader means. You know, like she said, a leader is not the one that does everything. It's, you know, you lead the people, you know, to pick the right thing or do the right thing. And I can definitely take that in mind because at my job, I am a full-time manager, like I said. And, you know, I have to lead my part-timers to, once I move up, I have to see which one of them is ready to take my position. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job at leading them and teaching them different things. And they really look up to me, and if they have an issue with the customer, if they have something going on in the store, they always come to me. And I became better at fixing solutions as well. So New Tech does teach students a lot of things. It's just you really have to experience it for yourself to see how much it can help a student. Like I said, I did learn a lot, especially from my teachers. They were always there for me, whether it was if I had something personal going on, if I had something academically going on. If I had a problem with my grades, they were always there, you know, like, I'll stay after school with you, we can work on this. So New Tech was very helpful.
Well, thanks, Yessie. Sounds like it prepared you well, and it kind of goes along with what Ms. Ba was saying, that, and that's what we try to do. We try to be authentic to real life. Any kind of job, you're going to have to collaborate. You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to advocate for yourself, organize yourself. There'll be some aspect of leadership and teamwork, and that's what we try to promote in all of our classes at New Tech. So appreciate your perspective. We have about 6 minutes until the counselor session at the ZB session starts. And if anybody wants more information about that, you're welcome to go over there. I'll post that link in just a second. But in the meantime, I opened up the chat box so that you can see everybody's comments, so they're not just coming to me. So if you have any questions, you can ask them of anybody. And in just a second, I'm going to ask all of you, this is like a class participation activity. So I'm going to put my teacher hat on and ask you all to participate. So if you have any questions, throw them in there now. And what I would like to see in the chat box, in addition to your questions, is why you're interested in New Tech. What is it that draws you to New Tech? And like I said, I opened the chat to everybody so that you could see, because I'm guessing that you will see other people say the same thing that you say. And again, it's a little bit more powerful in person, but it would be really cool to see that we all have that in common. So drop a question in the chat box, or if you would, drop in the chat box why you're interested in New Tech. What draws you to New Tech? Whether you're deciding or have decided, what is it about New Tech that appeals to you? Drop it in the chat box. Come on, class, got to get that participation up. The question is, what interests you about New Tech? Okay, I got a message to me, prepares for college, good. What else? The size, all right. You can put it to everybody in the meeting that everybody can see. All right, good, Anaya, thank you. All right, keep them coming. What else? If you have questions, throw them in there as well. Okay, new opportunities, we'll do that. Prepared to enter the real world, that's what we're trying to do. Like I've said, I spent 15 years at a large comprehensive school, and it was great, but I just missed the opportunity to do that kind of stuff, that real world stuff in all classes rather than just a few. And that's what we try to do at New Tech. We have that communication and writing and collaboration and problem solving in as many classes as often as we can. All right, group learning, communication. Okay. Oh, that's okay, Ms. Bob. We got that in the recruitment and orientation nights. So we're good. If anybody has questions about that, feel free to put in there. Okay, small environment. Good. Challenging. Good. Communication. All right, some folks are putting in the chat box that they're a little bit worried about the collaboration and the public speaking. And don't worry, we don't just throw you in there. It's like, okay, speech in front of the whole school on the first day. We prepare you for it. So same with the collaboration. We try to ease students in there. And one of the ways we do that, we have cohorts. So in general, especially freshman and sophomore year, the students will travel from class to class with the same kids. So it really makes the collaboration a little bit easier because they know each other. So we try to be deliberate about that. Okay. So I hope you're reading the chat box, because you can see what interests people about New Tech. And like I said, I think it's cool to see that other people have the same thoughts that you did, or maybe you'll see something in there. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. And again, if you have any questions, you can throw them in the chat box. Well, Ms. Carter, we're glad you landed here. Okay, good. All right, we're just a couple minutes away from the 7 o'clock portion of the district and of the ZB counselors. So I'm going to put that link in there. You're welcome to stay in this room and we can keep this conversation going and answer any questions. If you have specific questions, I can put you in a breakout room with Ms. Carter and you can talk about your specific application. But that's fun to say. That SMORE link in the chat box, that'll take you to the main program. And then you can look at the counselors. You can meet the counselors and look at the curriculum and the opportunities at ZB if you're still making up your mind. All right. Yep, there are scholarships. There are scholarships available district-wide, and there are some opportunities specific to New Tech. Once you get here, our counselor will be able to steer you in the right direction for those. Okay, thank you, Yessie. Yessie said in the chat box that if anybody has questions for her, kind of from an alum perspective, she'd be happy to answer them. We appreciate that.
Mr. Kubik, I think there's also for Gavin and your questions about scholarships and awards. I think it's also important to note that there's a number of opportunities for leadership within the building. Through B leaders, through student government, through starting up clubs, through honor society, just a lot of different opportunities that help you on those scholarship award applications as you look towards college. So those are important things to note as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thank you, Ms. Ando. It's also important to note that with our project-based learning emphasis, we try to do authentic projects. So in a history class, you're going to do what historians do. In your environmental science class, you're going to do what geographers or environmental scientists do. And that could allow for some connections as well. We also try to connect as often as we can with members of the community and leaders. So you may do a presentation for the mayor and the city council. I mean, who knows, that could lead to a connection and you can become an elected official sometime later on. We try to have consultants and project consultants and mentors in the community and with colleges. So like Ms. Ando said, that can be great on a resume and on scholarship applications, college applications. You'll have opportunities to do that authentic learning and that collaboration with people in the community and businesses as well. We also do have an internship program for juniors and seniors. And our very own Mr. Regnier coordinates that. Since we're talking about scholarships and leadership opportunity, tell us a little bit about the internships, Mr. Regnier.
The internships, when students become juniors and seniors, they get to work with me and get a career path going. So they may have several different choices, different options, and we try to get them out in the community that best fits their needs or their interests that they're trying to go after. So there can be anywhere from, I've placed people at the veterinarian clinic, I've done the police station, the firehouse, working with the park district. You may think working with the park district, but it's also business oriented because they want to get into business. So they're working more business stuff. I have people who want to get in art, like graphic art. So they may work with a company that's local and help them design some logos and other advertising stuff for that company. So it's a really great opportunity for the students to be involved, because I think the key with a lot of colleges going forward is what have you done? What activities? And that's what they're looking for, is not just that you have a good GPA, but what have you done in your community and are you involved? So it's an excellent opportunity for the kids, and it really starts them early in networking. You can never have enough people. It's not what you know, but who you know. So I try to tell that to the kids, so that when they get out in internships, that can lead into networking, which it has for some students. So that's my little spiel for today. So I don't want to take up too much time.
No, it's great. I appreciate that. And that the internship program is one of the highlights here. Gets you that practical experience, again, those connections, especially with the community. You just never know where those will lead.
Yep.
It is about who you know sometimes. And even if you don't get that kind of connection, just the experience. Yep. I think people are looking for that. So I know it's not a scholarship, but there's definitely a financial consideration to think about with regard to dual credit. You have the opportunity, if you take all of the dual credit classes here, you can walk into college as a sophomore. So that means that, think of all the time and the money that you would save by getting college credit in high school. So there's definitely financial implications there. I also like dual credit a little bit better than AP because At the senior level, those classes are taught by college professors or taught by CLC instructors. So you're actually getting the college experience in high school. And better to have that experience early so you can make any adjustments before it does cost a lot of time and money when you're actually in college. So I really like the dual credit program for that reason. I also like the fact that you can try a college class in a certain area like business or art or theater. And if you like it, great. Then when you get to college, you can try more in that area. But if you don't like it, well, that's good to know too, because then you know what classes you don't want to take in the future. And again, all of that's free in high school. It's really great to experiment with that kind of stuff now. It's just going to get more expensive later on. So I really like the dual credit opportunity. So I'm glad you brought that up, Gavin. Thanks, Ms. Adno, for reminding us about the leadership opportunities, and Mr. Regnier, the internship. All right. Ms. Carter, is there anything we could be doing now to increase our chances of being accepted into New Tech?
Just the pieces that we've asked for, signing in tonight for one of our meetings, making sure you've got the residency. If we need to have your student show up some skills in reading or math, but that wouldn't increase your chances to being accepted. But just making sure all the ducks are lined up, T's crossed, I's dotted.
Yep.
Somebody
Okay.
had asked me, is there a bigger chance on getting accepted if I have a sibling in New Tech right now?
The siblings and siblings of graduates are the first tier of the lottery, so the chance is better because we probably would not have a year where we've got 112 siblings applying.
And then they asked me, was New Tech challenging for me? So I had told her at first it was because I wasn't used to doing so many projects and being doing projects in groups. But eventually you really get used to it. You get used to the routine. You get used to the school very easily, especially because it's a smaller environment. And it's like, I felt like I fitted in with everybody. I got along with everybody. I talked to most of the 2016 class. Everybody was just really nice. We had a lot of things in common. So I feel like the more you interact with people, the more you get to know people, it becomes easier for you. And it also helps, the more you get used to it and the sooner you get used to it, it does help you with future projects, future any work that you have to do in general for any class that you're doing.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to close this call out in about 5 minutes. I want to put that SMORE link in again, just so you don't miss. If you want to get information about the ZB curriculum, you can talk to the ZB counselors if you're still making up your mind. That link is in the chat box. But we can hang out for another 5 minutes or so here and take any questions. If you have any specific questions about your application, you can direct message Sherry Carter or me, and I can route them to her. All right. Question in the chat box: are the classes offered at New Tech and Zion Benton the same? No, they're different. New Tech has its own sequence. We're more project focused. We have a slightly different order of the classes as well. So they're not so different. Our graduation requirements are a little bit higher as well. That's what I was trying to say. So, and again, that goes back to our mission that we're just trying to give students a little bit of a leg up. So we have a little bit more course requirements. But we do have fewer electives, but we think that you still get the kind of robust experience by the end of your time at New Tech. So no, the courses are different, and that is by design on purpose. Other questions?
Back on that, Mr. Kubik, and the mail, you should have gotten a course guide from New Tech, and that outlines our courses. If you do go on the ZBTHS website, you can pull up their course guide and see their offerings. If you didn't get ours in the mail, ours should be online as well.
All right. I can pull those up and put them in the chat box as well.
Perfect.
Other questions? Anything else you want us to address? And remember, we do have a real live alum here, so somebody who went through New Tech. So feel free to ask her. All right.
Please enjoy your high school experience, because after high school, life does get real and you are really an adult and it's hard. And trust me, if I could go back and enjoy my high school years just a little bit more, I would. I was actually talking about this with my friend Jenny yesterday because she went to New Tech as well. And I told her, I was like, dude, it's really about to be like 5 years since we graduated high school. She's like, don't tell me that. She's like, we're getting old. And I was like, I know. I'm like, it just felt like we graduated yesterday. So if you do, attend New Tech, please, please, please enjoy it. Make the best out of it. If you're ever stuck on anything or if you need help with anything at all, whether it's something that's going on in your life, the teachers are there to help you. I had amazing teachers. The people in the office were great. Ms. Carter would see me there almost every day. So, just in general, just enjoy your high school experience because after that, it does get real.
All right, hang on. I was answering a couple other questions and I didn't get to those links. I'm going to find the links to the course guides in just a second. Any final questions?
There was the question in the chat about busing, and Mr. Kubik, you answered it a little bit, but I do want to remind everybody that there's busing after school to main campus for all students. So if you are involved in any of the district-wide activities like ROTC or sports or some of the clubs, there is busing over there every day.
Okay. Thank you. I swear I was better at multitasking when I was younger, but now I'm trying to find this course guide and I can't talk at the same time. Thank you, Ms. Ando. I appreciate that.
Awesome. I think the New Tech one is side by side because I was working on them on a project a couple of months ago.
All right, there we go.
There, perfect.
Okay. All right, I'm going to close the call in just a minute. So last call for any questions, anything else you'd like us to address? Okay, then I will close the call in just a moment. Let me remind you that we need to hear from you by March 5th if you have applied and you decide not to attend. Remember, your application is an indication that you will attend New Tech and stay with us all 4 years and graduate and be like Yessie. So if you change your mind, please be sure to email Ms. Carter and let us know by March 5th. Okay. All right, so everybody is dismissed. Stick around if you have a specific question. Ms. Carter and I can help you. Thanks so much to Yessie and Ms. Bai, and Ms. Ando, Ms. Felsky, Mr. Regnier, Ms. Carter. Thank you so much for being with us. Actually, Ms. Carter, I do have a question in the chat box. Can they access Skyward now? There were a few questions about that. They received something in the mail about Skyward.
I'm not sure when that'll go live for the 8th grade families. I think Mr. Manson's in the process of getting families in so that we can do things like summer registration.
Okay, so they'll hear about that soon. Nothing they need to do right now on Skyward?
No, I would think that would be part of the packet that comes out from the district level for all 8th grade families.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then we had a question from somebody who just kind of popped in at the tail end. Did we miss anything? I've seen that family here before. I don't think you missed anything that you needed to do.
Yep, I remember that name too. Welcome back.
Plus there's a sibling already on campus. So
Oh.
that's an awesome resource.
They could lead the tours now. They know their way around. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'm going to press the end button. I just don't want to be rude and hang up on you. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you, hosts, for helping to host. Yessie, welcome back. Thanks for your words. I'll get back to you in the chat box, Precious.